What is going on, everybody? We are back with the ABJ Podcast with Eddie Reyes, for the original member, founding member of Taking Back Sunday. Super excited for this one. Haven't seen Eddie in a while, so it's going to be awesome to chop it up and talk. We have so much in common. We were talking before the camera started rolling between horror and pro wrestling and music and all of it, and our fidgeting and everything else. I cannot wait to chat it up. We're going to have a blast. Make sure you check out the links below to support the podcast. We do have the membership tier, so if you guys sign up for the membership, you get all the content early. So if you're seeing this now live, you could have seen it probably a couple weeks or a month before it aired because you're a member to the channel. It's a little as $1. The $5 and up tier gets you all the early content, as well as check out the links below for merchandise. We have a lot of really cool merchandise, and support my guest links below as well. Follow them on all social media. Tell them what you thought of the podcast. Give some feedback, and maybe we'll see more Eddie, because like I said, we have all these bonds of all the things that we're into. So maybe some horror movie reviews or some wrestling talks. Who knows? We're going to do it all. Without further ado, let's bring in my guest. Let's bring in Eddie. What's going on, bud?
I thought I was on camera all the time. I'm over here making stupid faces and shit.
No, you're back in the waiting room. Yeah. What's going on? How you been?
Yo, you should have pressed record an hour ago when we started talking.
Oh, good stuff. Yeah. Last time we seen each other was, oh my God, how long ago was that now? Skookstock. So you were in Fate's Got a Driver, and you were the co-headliner for Crowbot on their album release tour. It was the first only time I ever ran a music festival, and I shit my pants, and we somehow got through it.
That was fun. I hope we sounded okay. I know my singer had a couple of drinks, but
that's anything. He has a couple brewskis. Yeah.
The Crowbot guys are really cool guys. Yeah. The Crowbot guys are good guys too. They're all good guys. Even Fate's Got a Driver guys, they're still great guys. It was one of those situations when I walked away, when I parted ways. I won't say walk away, but let's just say when I split ways with Taking Back Sunday, I kind of did that whole, oh my God, that's what I did for 28 years. You know what I mean? So I kind of panicked, and I got a bunch of my friends to start a band with me, and I shouldn't have. And they're still doing it, and I'm happy for them. And they asked me to come back and do it, and I would love to. But it's just, I started a band at the wrong time when I should have just focused on me and walked away completely. And that was the product of Fate's Got a Driver. And
would you say it was almost like a rebound relationship where you love bombed a girl, but you weren't really in love with her? You were in love with the past relationship, and you needed the comfort.
And they're all good dudes, and they're all great musicians. And if I had stuck with it, we probably would have had the sickest full-length album.
First album, I still listen to it all the time. It's a great album. It's a great first album.
I know, and those are as much as I don't like to, when I did Fate's Got a Driver, it was also very X-band. Like Fate's Got a Driver was originally supposed to be the name of Taking Back Sunday. But
really,
I changed it. To Taking Back Sunday for more important reasons. It was an homage to someone who passed away, who was a younger brother of a friend of mine who was in a great band that should have been bigger than Taking Back Sunday, and he passed away from cancer. So it was an homage, like a shout out. And the whole idea of Sundays matinee shows at CB's with all my best friends, so I named the band Taking Back Sunday because Sunday is the most important day of the week you should spend with your family or people who you love. It should be the day that you shouldn't be selfish about yourself. Okay? Yeah. So I changed Fate's Got a Driver, which I was naming it after one of my, a band that influenced me off of one of their songs in their albums. It's this whole thing, So anyway, a lot of those songs that you heard on that demo EP and all that, those are originally supposed to be for my old band. And they never got used, so why am I going to waste them? I got these great guys. So I did that band, and it was fun, and then towards the end it wasn't, because I was going to relapse. I was losing my mind, and I realized, wow, I didn't give myself a second to breathe out of panic. So that was a product of it. But again, they're still a band. They're great guys, and I hope the world supports them. I still do. I will. I mean, they got a great They got a great name, you know. So,
listen, as pro wrestling fans,
I don't know.
As a pro wrestling fan, you never say never, right? Like we never thought we'd see Bret Hart back in the WWE again, you know, and it happened. So never say never. Anything's always possible.
Well, yeah, I have a new band. We're playing our first show October 26th. We're called Dead Hands, and I'm finally able to be me. Like I'm comfortable. I'm writing I'm writing all this stuff that another band I was in decided not to do anymore. So I'm going to continue it. My band is, shoegazy, heavy, moshy, but not like metal. You know what I mean? It's like we're like the whole idea of our band is to bring back that 90s sound, that shoegazy, heavy, post-hardcore 90s sound. So that's what we are. We're just like a Quicksand, Deftones kind of vibe. So I hope, you know what? I hope, and I also don't really care if nobody likes it, because I'm at that age now where it's like I like it, they like it, and my kids like it. Oh, well, then that's who I'm playing for, you know? But if people like it, I hope, we're going to do shows and maybe small tours, but we're not really looking. We all know we're older adults now, and we're obviously realistic about things, and we're never going to be Taking Back Sunday. We're never going to be that bad, but we're going to have fun and keep playing music because that's what I do. That's what I did all my life. I was in 50 million hardcore bands from Long Island. Like, that's all I know how to do. You know, I know how to do that, watch horror movies, wrestling, and collect toys.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those things, like, even with the podcast, like, if it blows up, this is for me. I'm literally recording my personal journey with people I care about and want to hear their stories. And if people want to tag along because they like it, welcome aboard. But I don't chase trends. Along. I don't chase trends. I don't chase I just do what I want to do. Like, and at the end of the day, if it blows up, that's
I think that's what I like about what you're doing is you talk about wrestling, you'll talk about music, whatever, like horror. I love that. You know what I mean? Like, and that's what I'm gonna do. I love talking about music history, and I mean, I'm a dictionary of bands. Like, I've booked them all, I've seen them all, I've played with half of them. It's like, so if you ever want to talk music, you ever want to talk horror, man, shoot. I have horror movies that I've collected since I was like 12.
Nice.
Like, I have the original Cannibal Holocaust, like all that stuff. So
yeah, we're gonna have a lot of fun. You'll be on as much as I can get you available for.
I'm wearing an Amityville Horror shirt, for Christ's sakes.
I love that. So when did you fall in love with the music industry, and how early do you remember picking up your first instrument and really diving into it?
Well, I do not love the music industry. I love music. I love the group of people that I had the opportunity to create music with or to create a scene with. I love that. Later on, the music industry came in, but I've always been a metalhead hardcore kid. Like, my brother was a metalhead, and my sisters listened to great, I guess, now would be considered commercial, but back then nobody knew who these bands were. Anyway, so I was influenced by everything, My parents always listened to, cumbia and salsa. So I love that music, I love everything. I grew up in Amityville, New York, hip hop central of Long Island, I can name a million hip hop bands from here. My brother went to high school and was friends with, dudes from Leaders of New School and De La Soul, so it's like I grew up with all that. It was just a stew of everything. So when I was a kid, I was just like, that's what I'm going to do, but not yet because I'm not ready. And then when I was like 13, my mom bought me my first guitar, which was an Epiphone Strat, an old original Epiphone Strat. And then my second guitar was Randy Rhoads Flying V. And that's it. I mean, I loved what my brother got me into at first. Maiden, Iron Maiden, Slayer, all that. But then I dug deep. I was like, no, there's got to be more than this. So I would go down to the local record store and I would dig up all the grindcore, black metal, death metal. So I was like 15 listening to like Celtic Frost and Napalm Death and shit. But And then one day I went to the record store and I saw this record and I thought it was a metal band. I picked it up. It was Agnostic Front, Victim in Pain. And I took it home. I also grabbed the tape that said Dag Nasty, Can I Say? It was in the $3 bin. Went home, and now I have those bands tattooed all over me. You know, it's like they changed my life. I became a hardcore kid. Then my friend became a hardcore kid. Then we found out kids over in Lindenhurst will listen to it. And then that's how it started. Hey, let's book shows. Boom, VFW hall shows, basements, backyards. That's how the Long Island scene started. So that's how I got into it.
Yeah.
And then the world caught on to Long Island and East Coast, and it blew up.
Yeah. So
and that's when the industry that's when the industry came in. They saw this. Let me see. Oh, I got right there. They saw that. Yeah. You know, and that's when the industry came into my life.
Yeah. Now, when you look back at like some of the music you made and the times you had, and you look at like the generation that you and a lot of those fellow bands at that time frame came to, like emo, that term, like that style, that whole everything, it's blown up. Like there's emo nights and there's this, and people still are reliving that whole, like people won't let go of it. Like that's an era of music that people love, and you're Taking Back Sunday is the soundtrack to those nights. Like you don't go to one of those nights and hear at least 2 or 3 Taking Back Sunday songs.
You know, I always try to correct people though, because the real emo died a long time ago. Those bands don't exist anymore. The emo that I grew up with, that was emo, you know, like the Rites of Spring, Embrace, even older Fugazi, even like Mineral, Sunny Day. Well, Sunny Day's back and strong and getting the cred that they finally freaking deserve. But like that was emo. We were post-hardcore. We were hardcore kids that were like, let's do something other than hardcore, because I bought this album from a band called Quicksand called Slip, and because Wally was in Gorilla Biscuits, but now Wally is in Quicksand, and he created this sound that was like, holy shit, that's what I want. It's fucking hard, it's breakdowns, but it still makes you want to hum it in your head. So we wanted to be post-hardcore. So when I started Mind Over Matter, Inside, Movie Life, Clockwise, when I started Taking Back Sunday, my goal was to always try to start that genre. You know what I mean? But then for some reason in the 2000s, some idiot at Rolling Stone or whatever decided to call this genre emo. So then all the kids caught on to emo, and then all the kids started becoming goth, and all of a sudden emo was black hair and blah, 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 and black nails. And then I was just like, man, we ain't really a part of that. But I'm also not going to say no to it, because this wouldn't be happening if it weren't for me and like 20 other dudes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So instead of hating on it, I embraced it. So I get it. And emo nights, I was against it, and then now I go and do them, or I'll go hang out in them to meet people and stuff. I get it now, because my emo nights were called 80s nights. And we would go to the venue and dance to The Cure and sing along to Joy Division and Minor Threat. You know what I mean? So I was like, I get it. Their emo nights is just my 80s nights. So I stopped hating on it. You know?
It's so much fun when you go to an emo night, or like pop punk or new metal or whatever. Like, they all get blended together, but you go and you sing a bunch of really, really sad, depressing breakup songs and fall in love with everyone around you. It's a weird vibe.
One of the best bands in that genre, because I'm sure they feel like me, they didn't want to be called that, but was always seeing the Get Up Kids. Like, to me, they were dear to my heart. Great band and great dudes. And Mineral, believe it or not. Mineral, which I hope they get their right cred that they deserve, just like Sunny Day is now, you know? Because that band fucking knocked down doors. You know, bands like Texas Reason, stuff like that, you know? Dude, I went to a
what band really got me into a bunch of other bands, and it was through a song? Gym Class Heroes has a song called Taxi Driver, and every lyric in the song is a band name. It's so good. And then I deciphered it. I'm like, these are all. And then I go to research the bands because of the lyric. I love Gym Class Hero. They're another upstate New York band, right?
the Gym Class Hero dudes are pretty legit. I back them. You know, they're good dudes. But yeah, you know, it's like but now I do the emo nights. Next week, Fred is coming down to my restaurant. I run a restaurant with a friend of mine. It's his, but I manage it. But now we got the venue part of it going. So now we have we're gonna start having more shows. But I also do it also here locally with another partner of mine. But we have Fred coming in. He's gonna be doing emo night with me. But I'm not gonna perform. He's gonna play. I'm just gonna hang out and pick songs and stuff because I'm also working technically. Yeah. But so next week I got that, and then the week after that is an emo night, which is my show, my new band, Dead Hands. And when it's done, I'll send you some. Tell me what you think.
Yeah. Eddie, I don't know if you remember Eddie Collins. He was Crowbot's bass player at the time for School Stock, and now he does like a stagehand stuff for Guar and everything. He does emo nights up here, and they're packed every time. He does such a good job. Dude,
you guys got a book. My friend's band. Well, I became friends with them, but they're a band called Flicker Fade, and they're like blowing up. And they decided to play a venue that I run here with my partner. It's an actual venue that I'm a part of, and he's like, this band's called Flicker Fade. So I had him call them, and I was like, you guys aren't allowed to play. I want my royalty. I wrote that song, and they were like, oh, serious? I was like, that, or you let me play 5 songs with you. They were like, anytime. So the last couple of shows, I played with them. They're awesome. And it was the best. And honestly, they brought back the spirit. When I played those 2 shows with them, they captured back what I was trying to do with Fate's Got a Driver, and it made me want to do it again. It made me want to go call up the Fate's Got a Driver guys. I still may go back and do it with them. I talk to Adam all the time.
I would love that.
It made me want to do Dead Hands seriously. It made me want to record an album with my daughter and my son because they're, believe it or not, a trillion times more talented than me. My son plays circles around me on guitar and drums. I'm a guitarist and a drummer. I play drums and I play guitars. My son does the same thing. But now I heard him ripping apart my bass in his room, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, why am I not in a band with my kid? My daughter's the same. But anyway, but that sparked a flame in me. So if you ever hear of that band, pass it on to your friend. They're worth it, man. Those guys are awesome. But
make sure you send me all those links. I will put them below to support them and have people go check them out.
Dude, I'll be honest with you. I love Crowbot. I thought it was the stupidest name. When Randy was like, "We're Crowbot. Those are my boys. They're gonna take me out," and this is before I knew them. I was like, yo, I'm not playing with Crowbot. What the hell is this, new metal? I saw them play them, but then I got to hang out with them, and then I got to play like 4 small little mini tours with them. They're all great guys, and I love that album they put out, and I have nothing bad to say about them other than the name. I love the band.
The name is so fitting for them, though. Like I don't know.
I know.
It makes some.
I get it. Yeah, I get it. But you know what? Technically, Crowbot. I wish they were bigger because they are so different. And that's what I appreciated about them. They had a little bit of like hardcore in them, but then they had a little bit of sludgy bar metal, like rock. The kind of shit you want to walk in and start a bar fight. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, and they got that funk feel to them. Like there's a lot of going on in Crowbot. It's a nice mix.
That whole mix. It was awesome. Yeah,
I love going to see them live. And no disrespect to bands, everyone does things their own way. But like a lot of bands you go to, and the backing track is there, or they have this and that. Crowbot shows up, plugs in, and plays. Like what you hear is just them playing.
And that's a pride I take in. And what I did with Taking Back Sunday. That's why we had an auxiliary guitar player, because that's my friend. I hired him because I don't want to play the tracks. I don't want to play the samples. Taking Back Sunday, we started in basements. We're going to keep playing that way, even though it's arenas, and we may sound a little bigger, And that's what I appreciate about Crowbot, too. When they plugged in, I was expecting samples and blah, blah, blah. No, man, those dudes. And the singer's nuts, and I love it. But they're all just good dudes, man. And the bassist was a nice guy. But yeah,
good stuff. I miss Scoop Sock. That was a great time, huh?
Yeah, you should do it again. You should try to do something big like that again.
Maybe on a wrestling tour. Maybe we'll find out a way to mix wrestling and music. You have a little bit of a lag here. Are you there? Are we losing you? We might have to.
Hey, how about this? If you
Oh, I hear you now. You're lagging out on me.
For crappy internet. I'm sorry. But
Right.
I'll tell you what, if you do it again, I'll call up the Fates Guy Drivers guys. I'll do it with them and my new band.
All right.
Not that anybody will know who we are or care.
Definitely, we'll figure it out. Like I said, maybe we'll find a way to do it with. I always wanted to do, if I did Skook Stock 2, I wanted to call it Skook Mania, and I wanted to mix music and wrestling. That was my goal for part 2.
That's awesome. That's a really good idea. I don't think you should sleep on that.
Yeah, I know that right now one of the big things I look forward to every year is a company called GCW. They're like the top indie promotion. Every year they actually do an emo night wrestling show where the entire wrestling show is themed after emo stuff. And it's like the wrestlers do spoof shirts that look like old emo band shirts, but it's their stuff. It's fucking amazing.
That's awesome. I'd go to that.
Yeah, I have to show it to you.
Yeah,
I mean, people are coming out to Take Back Someday. People are coming out to My Chemical Romance. It's all like it's awesome. It's like my two loves in one thing.
Yo, if it ever happens, I should try to weasel my way in there and pretend to be someone's manager. You know, the guy that comes out and talks shit to everybody. You know. Anyway,
they would 100% let
you. Right. You think so? Yeah,
absolutely. You're like, hey, Eddie wants to come in.
I got to start getting back out there, man. I think I did my job. My kids are grown up. I think it's time to get back into it because I'm 51. I know I'm old, but I still got it in me. You know?
Yeah.
Why not?
So, what were a lot of these questions we kind of answered at the same time, but what were the beginning stages of yourself, as a musician and finding yourself? And I more or less want to kind of dive into like when it went from just having fun to like when it got serious, maybe being on the road and what was that dynamic change like? Because now when I interview a lot of people, I do interview people who made it to a larger scale or people who are on the smaller scale chasing to get to the larger scale. What is that adjustment like? And what's the best way to tell someone like to adjust for that?
Man, I don't have any advice for that. I mean, all I could say is just whatever you do, my most important thing about people who start music and then they slowly build up and become something and they obviously realize, oh my God, this is it. I'm going for it. Just keep going, keep doing it. But my biggest thing is if you have something inside you that's really bothering you, don't keep it in. Don't, because over the years it'll build up and then to your partners, your boys, and letting your feelings out and yada, yada, and no communication, it'll build up and you'll turn to other things. And I saw that happen a million times. It happened to me. So that's one thing I tell people is don't hold in your feelings. When you're on tour, it's fun, but after 28 years of doing it, trust me, it doesn't get fun anymore. You don't see your kids grow. You're going through a divorce. You got to do this. You know what I mean? It's like a double-edged sword. It's like, yeah, you get to live the rock star life, but everything at home's falling apart. Don't let that happen. What's important is stay grounded, stay focused, always, and I tell younger bands this, always have humility, always have empathy. You're no better than any other band, so don't talk shit. There's no point in talking shit. If anything, if you want to build a scene, you support each other. Even if you don't like the band, they're good dudes. That's my advice. How about that? Is that okay?
Oh, I love that. Yeah, that's perfect. Because I think like that's one of the things when I see a lot of people, it's like they hit that certain stride or they think they hit that stride and they get a little taste of it and they change completely. And you're like, man, you were right there and you just kind of flipped the switch because you got a little taste of it. Like you're not even at that next stage yet, and you're probably going to ruin your next step up because you got a little bit of it and didn't handle it properly.
Yeah, you gotta stay grounded, man. Stay grounded and don't hold in your feelings. Don't. I held in my feelings.
When did it realize for you that when you're like, oh shit, this is getting bigger than I anticipated?
And I think we were blowing up on Long Island already. But I think our first show we played with Alkaline Trio, and it was sold out. Hear me? Yeah, you can hear me.
Yep, I hear
It
you.
was a sold out Long Island show in Mineola, Long Island. The place was like packed, like 2,000 kids, and that's when I was like, wow, this is not only are we getting big, but this scene is getting big. And then 2 months later, we're selling out Irving Plaza in New York, and I'm like, wow, this is really big. And it just slowly built up. Birch Hill, Jersey. We started going out down to Philly. Shows were selling out, and so that's when I was like, okay. But I think it really hit me as like my band is big when we sold out Nassau Coliseum. And for me, that was like a big thing because I used to go see the Islanders play there, and it's like, I can't believe I'm doing this. And the Islanders gave us jerseys. Like I cried like a little baby. And to me, that's when I was like, dude, I was like, okay, we did it. And then My Chem, us and My Chem, Madison Square Garden, sold out. Like, okay, I'm in it. And that's when I was like, okay. But I never changed me. Never. Even when the band's open for us, I would go out in the crowd and watch them play. Because you can't lose that. You can't lose that of what you came from. Because the minute you lose that, you forget it. You become someone else, like you said. So as long as you stay grounded and you still appreciate where you came from, you're going to be fine.
Yeah, kind of going back to a very, very early podcast, and if you guys want to go listen to it, please do. The drummer from Fate's Got a Driver, Javi, was one of my first guests on the podcast very early on, and he told a story about how he was going through a lot, and his band, he literally showed up for a show, and his band kicked him out, and he said it was like a really sad movie. He was out sitting in the rain, crying and upset, like he didn't know what to do at that point, and he said, you came off where you were and came over and pulled him inside and talked to him and like gave him a lot of comfort. And then a couple months later, you guys formed what was that band. And he said like you reaching down to him and at a moment when he really needed it and he was hurting was super important to him. Like that's just the type of person you are, man. Like even at Skookstock, you went around, you talked to everybody, you gave younger bands advice. Like you were really sweet about it.
It's just, man, me and 12 other dudes from Long Island back in the late 80s decided to start a music scene. Not that it wasn't happening in other places, but we started to start our music scene the way we wanted it to be. We wanted to take the ethics and the morals that we learned from the New York hardcore scene, from the bands and we were like, we're going to bring it out to the island, the suburbs, and we're going to do it the way they teach us. And the whole point of being a hardcore kid is being honest, have empathy, have respect, not racist, not basically, just be a good person and stay grounded and like build a music scene where you could stay away from the bad things, the drugs, the gangs, because that was all around me, man. And if it wasn't for that, I'd probably be in jail. Who knows what I would have been. But so we took those ethics, and I think just having that instilled in us, I would refuse to let it go, And I think, and I was also older than a lot of guys in my band, Taking Back Sunday, so they didn't understand, I get it. But so maybe that was a lot of conflicts too when I was being an old man, telling people, hey, get your ass out there and sign stuff, So, but it's just important, man. You got to stay grounded. How else are you going to inspire someone to want to keep doing what you did if you're an asshole? Mm-hmm. Like, the Ultimate Warrior is an asshole. I didn't want to go wrestle, but so it's, and I get mad when I meet other bands or I know other bands that are big that get cocky. I'll call them out. I don't give a fuck. They ain't going to change me. Shit, been here before them, be here after them. Like, and there's a couple of bands that, they burn their own bridges,
Yeah.
So that's why don't burn your bridges, And Javi, I felt terrible for him, and he was a good guy, and I gave him my number, and I said, you keep in touch with me. And fuck that. And what sucked was the band that kicked them out. I'm friends with them too. They're good guys, So it was like both worlds. I gave them a speech on how they could have done things differently. And I told Javi, you're very talented and you're going to go on and do things. And then when I was in that panic of starting a new band, Javi was the first person I tortured to be in a band with me. And he was tortured, and I feel bad because I was a mess. And it was just bad timing, So, but Javi's a good guy. I'm going to go watch that. Can you hear me now?
It's you're buffering. It's giving me a second. I hear you, but it's choppy. All right, I think you're good.
All
We'll
right,
fix
I'm
it all in
sorry.
post. We'll be all right. We'll fix it all in post.
8.
I'll wait till you're back here.
Yeah.
You're not fully back yet.
No.
Oh.
Yeah.
You there?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you fine. I see you. That's weird.
Yeah. All right, I think you're good. You're back. It's like a buffer in the connection on your end, but we're good. We got it back.
Right.
So kind of talked about like hitting your peak and have you all that, but key moments. You said touring with my chem, selling out those arenas. I kind of dive into like the writing process or making like what are some songs that you look back on that really strike a chord for you, or where were you mentally when you were writing some of those tunes?
In different places, man. I don't know. I don't know. One song I did write was personal, and it means a lot to me. It was a song called "Everything Must Go." I think I was at my lowest point, and as far as family situation, and I started realizing I was an alcoholic. I started disliking my bandmates. I started kind of like when I was writing that song, I was already starting to become like that guy that never hung out, would go by himself and hang out. You know what I mean? So that song rings a lot for me, a lot. Even if I listen to it today, I get kind of teary-eyed. And playing it, I would get really like upset. That song, Ghost Man on Third, always gave me a song that always pumped me up and gave me a great time when I played it was To Feel Like to Be a Ghost. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. I hope I answered that question. I'm really bad at
it's
this.
perfect. I like when hearing like what songs that you made resonate with you. Obviously, like the hits are what everyone like. Oh, like Make Sure, QD, like all those songs. Now, at what point do they get like you're like, oh, we have to play this one? We're on the 16th million time playing it.
I know. Dude, we would have talks about maybe we shouldn't do this song. Maybe we shouldn't do it. We do it too much. And I'm like, and I would always be the one. I would always be the asshole, the old grouch in the background. No, you got to play the songs that made you who you are. Then you can play the other songs. So I would always make everyone play the songs. Like we didn't want to play So Last Summer anymore, but I was like, come on, guys, we got to do it. But then we would always
like
talk
pro
about
wrestling.
it.
You gotta do what got you to the dance, right? If Hogan walked out and didn't do a lay drop, I'm not buying a ticket ever again.
Exactly. The Rolling Stones go out and I'm pretty sure the Rolling Stones hate playing those songs, but they do it. So that's not that we hate them. It's just we got a point where it's like, all right, let's play something else. And then once in a while we will not play a song and play out some random one that we would love and no one would like that song, and then people would boo us because we didn't do the other song. So it's like you don't win. You don't win.
Influences and role models that you had, growing up or even to this day that you listen to or you look at.
Musically. Well, growing up, I think some of my biggest influences musically, musicians, I could name a lot of them. Like Robert Smith from The Cure is a huge inspiration. I wrote a lot like him. Walter Schreifels from Quicksand, Rival Schools, Gorilla Biscuits. I mean, he's one of my idols. I mean, I know him. He's a sweet guy. I don't punish him, but when I'm around him, I look up to him, Brian Baker from Bad Religion, Minor Threat, Dag Nasty. I had the pleasure of hanging out with him. He's a great guy. He's one of my biggest influences. Ian MacKaye. But those are predominantly my influences. I mean, there's classic stuff that we could all say, oh, yeah, they influenced me. But as far as the genre, those are the guys that made me become who I am.
Now, when you get to the point where you get a little bigger and you're touring more, you're becoming more world traveled. Did you get to meet any of your heroes, and was it a good experience?
I did. I left one out, and I feel bad. Celtic Frost was a huge influence on me. A lot of metal bands. We can go deep, but Celtic Frost was the band that made me push the edge and made me mix some of that into Taking Back Sunday. The power, the boom, boom, boom. You know what I mean? So that's another big influence on me. But then, whatever your next question was, oh, my battery's going to die. Of course that happened to me. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
When you get a chance to meet some of your heroes or work with other bands, who are some people that you met or bands you work with that stood out?
I didn't work with them, but I had the honor of hanging out and meeting Zach Wild. I hung out with Zach at a bar in Reno. He showed me Randy Rhoads' guitar because I guess it was a gift to him from Randy Rhoads' mom. He was a sweet guy. He called down his crew, and me and Fred, and we signed all the stuff for his crew because their kids were like big fans. So they asked if they could come down and meet us, which is funny. Who else? Tom Araya from Slayer has always been an amazing dude. He actually liked Taking Back Sunday. I met a lot of people. So many people. Honestly, all the people that I thought I was going to meet that were going to be so mean to me or dicks to me all ended up being the best, sweetest people. And that even made me more humble. You know what I mean? It made me be even more like, you know. And funny when you meet the people that you're not really like influenced by or whatever, but they're there. They're the assholes.
Yeah,
you know,
or the ones that you're like I met a lot of people on TV, like wrestling wise, that like mid carders or who weren't huge, and they had like a flash in the pan where they had a couple moments on TV or pay per views, and then they kind of disappeared. And you meet them, and they're the coolest people. You're like, oh man, I wish you would have got more because you're such a nice human.
See, like I don't want to meet The Rock. I don't want to meet him. I want to hear that he's a big turd. You know, I don't want to meet. I don't want to meet Hulk. I already know he's a turd. I would love to meet.
Bob Backlund's awesome. Huh? Bob Backlund is awesome. Bob Backlund.
Oh, is he really? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
I would love to meet. I would love to meet Sting. I would love to meet Flair. I would love to meet.
I met Sting.
Huh?
I met Sting. So I got asked to host a. Yeah, I hear you. I got asked to host a convention in Toms River, New Jersey, and the headliner of the convention was Sting. So I'm walking around hosting, and Sting's like right, and I'm just like, I'm like, hey, really good. Like I wasn't a giant Sting fan, but I respect Sting. But I was just like, it's fucking Sting. Like that's the icon right there. That's pretty wild. But yeah, I got to meet him that day. That was pretty cool.
I had the opportunity to buy. In passing, I walked by what's his name, Anthony Bourdain, and I high-fived him. And he's really tall and he's really cool. Unfortunately, he's gone. Who else did I meet? Man, I met so many people, and I met so many typical popular Hollywood turds that really are disgusting in real life. And you know what I mean? Like
you were very early on. You toured with a very young, early Linkin Park, correct? If I'm correct, right?
Yep. We did 2 tours. We did 2 tours. We did 2 tours with Blink. And we did that giant tour with Linkin Park, and it was great. Good guys. I mean, I wasn't necessarily a huge Linkin Park fan, but I respect them. And Chester was such a great guy, and all those guys, they're all sweet guys. Like. They're all family dudes. They're just like us, you know, and it's sad when Chester passed away. But they were great to us. The Blink dudes are Tom DeLonge is hilarious. I mean, he's a good dude. Like I didn't really get to meet.
That's all Blink right there. All those pop figures are Blink.
Like I never really got to. Because I'm not like one that's like super impressed. Or one that's intimidated because I've been around a long time too. They're probably into bands that I probably were in. You know what I mean? So I wasn't like, ooh, Blink. I was like, what's up, guys? Walk right by them. But they're good dudes. I didn't really talk to Travis at all because he's not very, he keeps to himself. But he'll look at you and be like, what's up? But he had a Can I Say tattoo on his chest, the Dag Nasty Can I Say, which I have, but it's in Cantonese over here somewhere. Anyway. And I was like, yo, dude, sick chest tattoo. And he was like, thanks, bro. And he saw my Dag Nasty tattoos, and he was like, cool. That was the only time I talked to him. But I mean, I had the opportunity to tour with so many. Placebo, amazing. I love them. I meditated with them. I hung out with them. They're great guys. You know what I mean? Who else? So many bands.
Yeah.
Shared a bus with Slipknot at a festival. Hilarious. Like the best. So
now, when you look at like a Blink-182 band who went through so much turmoil and went through so much ugliness and like how they hated each other and said they'll never be on tour, and then went through some extremes to kind of come back together and like rekindle that. Like for me, like I went through a pretty low spot, and that new album came out and then came back together. Like that was super inspirational. Just how you were saying before, have that conversation. Don't let it get out of control. Like talk to people. Just say, hey, here's where I fucked up. Here's where you fucked up. Can we, even if it never creates an art again, you at least have that peace of mind of you don't hold on to that baggage.
I wish I had done that. That's in the 7 years of me fixing this brain and just what I went through, I wish I had been more outspoken, but there's a lot of things in the TBS camp that are, it's the way things are, the way things roll, and I should have let my feelings out more, I think. And then maybe I probably still would have been there, but unfortunately, but now I know, but I don't know. I mean, maybe one day I will bump into those guys and we'll sit down and have it out, and maybe I will go back, or maybe they'll have me back. I don't know.
You never know. You never know what the future holds, but as long as you're on your end, you're open to burying hatchets. That's good.
Yeah. And let's not sugarcoat this. If one of them saw this, or my ex-manager saw this, they can't argue this. It's my band. I started it. I named it. I wrote half those songs. They could sit there and go, how can he say that? They wouldn't say that because they can't, because it's true. I'm not lying, So it's sad that I'm not there with my child, but at the same time, I'm also happy for them that they carried it on. You know what I mean? It's just so many different things that now that I've been able to fix this, I could say without having it be nasty or not what I wanted to say. You know what I mean? So
yeah. How long was that process of kind of like, was there a moment where you didn't want to talk about the band, listen to the band, be a part of it? Because after the separation, where you had to heal or figure that out?
Dude, it was so bad that I sold stuff just to get it out of my face.
Yeah.
Like I literally, when I did that emo night a couple months ago, I had to relearn songs that I wrote. Like that's how bad I put it in the back of my head and wanted to like just not. Dude, it sucks so bad that I would go to a gas station, put the card in, and the TV screens pop up. Literally, One time it was Taking Back Sunday doing an interview talking about a show they were doing, and I'm like, I really looked up and I was like, really? Fuck me, you got to be kidding me, But then there's a big part of me that I miss those dudes. Even though we didn't get along all the time, we were brothers. You don't get along with your brothers or sisters all the time. You know what I mean? So there's things I could have done differently, a whole lot. And there's things they way could have done differently with our parting. But it is what it is. It was a long time ago. I'm 51 now. I'm too old. I don't give a shit. I have more important things in life to worry about, And if we could sit down as adults, I would love to go back. I would love. I miss those guys. I would hug Adam. If Adam walked in that door right now, I'd probably hug him and cry.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. It is what it is, man.
You take any group of humans. Yeah. You take any group of humans and you stick them on a bus or a plane or anything and just, hey, you're going to tour the world every single day for almost 20 years. You're going to find things that hate each other because you're always around each other. Like Aerosmith used to get high and shoot guns at each other. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, and think about it. Like, I needed recovery. I needed to get better, but I also needed people to stand by me as brothers. And I didn't get that. But that's a whole other story, and it's not trash talking. It's just fact, and it's just how I feel. Yeah. But I still love them. I haven't talked to some of them, but I get it. When John and Sean decided to quit, we didn't talk to them for like 9 years. But it happens. Like I said, I don't know if it's ever. I don't know if they would ever have me back. I don't know if I would ever go back. It's just, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But when
I
people
think you
ask
having
me,
that peace of mind of saying that you're a piece of what how it went down. You hold no resentment. You
yeah,
hold no baggage.
oh yeah,
I think mentally
no,
that's healthier for you than even going back or doing any of that.
yeah. I mean, one of the things you learn about that you learn in the 12 steps is you gotta get your amends out, get rid of your animosity. You know what I mean? And you gotta focus on, you gotta get more humility. You gotta get
Yeah.
humility. You gotta have empathy in your life. And honestly, like as much as I don't really go to AA meetings anymore, I don't because the ones around me got a little too negative, so I had to walk away. But I still support it. I listen to it on podcasts and all that. And it's the truth about an addiction. It's just you don't know how to handle it because you don't know about your mental illnesses. So
Mm-hmm.
you learn how to hide them through drugs, alcohol, and that's what I did. So now that I learned what the hell I was doing wrong, now I know how to handle situations differently. And so I think now I have no animosity towards them. I have. It's one of those. I miss them a lot, not because I wish I was on stage. Even if I never went back to the band, I would still tell them that. That's
Mm-hmm.
basically like something I would like to get off my shoulder, you know? But other than that,
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I'm back to music. So I'm going to try to do this band again, you
Yeah.
know?
So let's kind of shift to that. So what goals do you have your set personally or in the world of music? Like what are some goals you have set for yourself right now?
Just to get back out there and play. I don't care if it's a backyard, basement, a small bar, a big festival. I just want to, I'm ready to play shows again. You know,
Where are you
I'm
based out
ready
of?
to
Are
do
you
it.
in New York or are you Ohio? Where are you out of right now?
I'm out in Ohio. I'm out in
Yeah.
Sandusky, Ohio. Yeah. And I think in 2 years, we plan on moving to PA. So,
Ooh, come on down.
yeah.
Or over.
Well,
I don't know.
my fiance, my best friend, my better half, I call her, um, she's from PA and she really wants to go back. And
What part?
I'm not from here. She's from Sharon,
Okay.
Sharpsville, Hermitage. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're
We
gonna
have an
actually
awesome
our
music
wedding.
scene. There's a lot of people who would love to jam with you. So come to PA. We'll get you
That
hooked
would be great. That's another reason. No. But we yeah. I love PA anyway. So it's like PA was always like a second home to me. Jersey and PA. I always played shows there. You know. I mean, we used to
Yeah.
play shows. My old hardcore bands. We used to go out to Burning Hands and Blue Balls. All those random freaking
Lidditz
places.
or
Kane.
Lititz. Pennsylvania has wild
Great.
names. Intercourse. Yeah.
I love it. Intercourse. Yeah. Listen, there's Intercourse. Right after Intercourse is Burning Hands. And then after Burning Hands is Blue Balls. You gonna tell me they didn't do that on purpose? Come on. But yeah, but so that's my plan. Not that I dislike Ohio, but I did my time. My kids are going to be going off to school, and we're going to pack up and move back out east. I don't want to go back to New York. It's too expensive, but PA is great and beautiful. Again, great scene. Why not?
I would love that.
Where are you?
If you move to PA,
PA?
hit me up. I'm near Pottsville, Pennsylvania.
Pottsville. Okay. Yeah, I know Pottsville. Duh.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. No, I'm definitely. We are moving there. I mean, our wedding is May 17th. It's in Sharpsville. It's at a place called the Tara. It's like some old place. Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, we're moving back. I'm just waiting for these kids to finish up school. Yeah.
I can't wait. We'll definitely hang out. We'll do some stuff. We'll go to some wrestling shows. I'll take you to some wrestling shows.
Hey, you know what? Are you good at naming things that you absolutely love right off the spot? I always do this to people. Like,
yes,
you don't have a chance. You don't have none of this. Give me a moment crap. No. Favorite wrestler.
Shawn Michaels.
Favorite wrestler. God.
Shawn Michaels.
Really?
Yeah. I'm a Shawn guy.
That fucking weasel? Really?
Yeah. You want my part two?
God.
I like my part two more than you like my part one. Mick Foley's my number two.
I love Mick Foley, and I would love to meet him. He's a Long Islander.
He is a Long Islander, yeah.
He's from Babylon, I believe, 2 towns over from me. So trust me.
The wrestling shirt I'm wearing right now, also a Long Islander, Willow Nightingale.
Yeah, that's great. I remember what's his name? I was kind of getting into it, but then he kind of like bailed out, I think. CM Punk.
He's back. He went back to WWE.
Yeah, he's back. Yeah.
CM Punk's back in WWE.
WWE. But yeah, I mean, what are we talking about? Oh, shit.
You said naming things and thinking. Yeah, it's ADHD, baby. I'm with you. I'm right here.
Sorry.
All right, so this is kind of the segue there too. Besides the industry you're in, the music, what are some? You said horror. All those things are your favorite. So what are some things you're into right now? Maybe some movies or some albums you checked out or TV shows you're watching. What are you into right now?
Oh, shit. Hold on one second. My phone is literally about to die.
Okay. Commercial break.
All right. Bum, 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 bum. Like, and I'm going to have to hold it now. Okay. I'm shutting down.
Oh, no. I should have made damn sure that he would never leave. I'm leaving that in. All right, we are back. Technical difficulties. Eddie's back. We're hanging out. We were talking about hobbies, interest, and the horror movie side of things and our favorite wrestlers. So recently, what are some horror movies you checked out that you're super into?
Well, I mean, what was that movie? Oh, my God, we just watched it. It was good. Well, as far as recently, the horrors that I really love now are like Hereditary.
Yeah.
We just watched this
like the
A24.
The A24. Yeah, the A24 series. Yeah.
I love anything A24. Like,
have you ever seen their new their cartoon? It's called Has Been Hotel. It's like it's like you're watching the Powerpuff Girls, but the entire theme of it is the devil's daughter is trying to reestablish hell and make it a better place, and it's like a whole cartoon based in hell. It's awesome.
I gotta check it out. What's it called?
A Has Been Hotel.
Has Been Hotel. Okay, I gotta check that out.
Yeah,
but Hereditary. We just watched one the other night. And it was good. I forgot what it's called though. But we were the Blackwell. I'm sorry,
the Blackwell Ghost.
Blackwell Ghost. Me and Michelle got sucked into that. I was like, wow, that is the most expensive series we paid for because we bought every single one.
That's my last name.
I don't know if it's real. I know. I don't know if it's real or if it's fake. I don't want to know, but it's great. That one is really great. That whole series is great.
Have you seen Late Night with the Devil yet?
No. I want to.
Watch that.
Don't ruin it for me.
It's so goddamn good. It's so good.
I know. I want to see it though. Yes, I definitely want to. But like, I don't know. I love, like, again, George Romero is like any of that series. I'd be down to like talk about because I everything George. Growing up as a kid, my favorite movie in the whole world is Dawn of the Dead. You know, the original.
That's my favorite movie.
Yeah, the remake is great. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. I like the remake. It's one of the very few remakes I like. But I'm true to, you know, the original Dawn of the Dead, the original Day of the Dead. I like the original Night of the Living Dead, but I also probably enjoy more the remake that Tom Savini did. I thought it was insanely good. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, I'm you know, then The Walking Dead, of course, but that got boring real quick. You know, just anything like zombie flick. I'm like Luce Fulce, anything like, you know, zombie. One of my favorite movies. You know, it's like
well, it's pretty cool that you want to move to the birthplace of the zombie, Pennsylvania. We pretty much made it. Romero's from Pittsburgh.
Actually, I said that to her. I was like, I don't mind going back. I mean, I used to go to the museum when it was in Pittsburgh.
I've never been to the mall. That's like a bucket list for me. I want to go to the Monroeville Mall.
Yeah, Monroeville Mall. That's crazy. But and then I was into like a lot. Not like, of course, I'm obsessed with Star Wars. Duh. But I'm a super Star Wars nerd. Like Old Republic. Like I read the books, all that crap. I collect expensive Old Republic toys and yada yada. But that to me is a different religion and world. But then I like sci-fi horror. Like I love Alien, the whole Alien franchise, the Predator franchise. Even Prometheus is like one of my freaking favorite. You know what I love about Prometheus? That's how I look at religion. Like I believe in alienology. So like that movie, Ridley Scott explained exactly how I feel about life on Earth and who we are and who created us in their image and all that. Because I don't believe in religion like that. I believe in religion as a bunch of dudes back in the days who couldn't explain what they saw. You know what I mean?
So they didn't know what science was.
All that crazy shit. Like, they left someone behind. No, seriously, they left someone behind to teach us to be like them. We fucking killed him. His name was Jesus, So it's my beliefs. So anyway, back to the Prometheus. I love that movie. Like, but I love like sci-fi horrors. I love one of my favorite movies is Deadly Spawn. It's like an old 70s. Oh, it's terrible, but it's great.
Okay.
And one of my favorite zombie flicks next to Dawn of the Dead is Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things. Another great one.
I have to look that one up.
Oh yeah. It's a great one.
Did you watch the new Zack Snyder zombie movie on Netflix with Dave Bautista, where like they quarantine Vegas? That was
Vegas awesome. And all that. That was a great movie.
I loved it.
Don't hate it. I don't hate it.
Here's another one. Have you seen Abigail?
I already saw it. Yeah, that was actually the movie we watched the other night, Abigail. That was great.
It was a heist, a vampire movie. It was so good.
It was good. I hope they don't kill it, though. I don't want them to come out with, I hope they don't try to make it a franchise. You should leave it. Some movies are just meant to be done once. Like The Shining. Stop. Leave it alone. They don't need. No, don't shut down me.
No! I knew it. We were going to start talking about horror movies, and I was going to keep them too long again. We'll give them a couple minutes. We'll see how it goes.
We're back. Sorry, more technical difficulties. We're killing every device in your house on this podcast. It's a process, but thank you for sticking through it with me. I appreciate it. We'll get to these last two here, and we'll get you out of here. What are some words of encouragement to someone beginning into music or just chasing their dreams in general?
We talked about this. It's hard advice to give, but for me personally, by the influences I had, and the music scene that I grew up with, and the values and the ethics and all that, man, just stay humble, stay grounded, have humility, empathy. Like I was saying earlier, no one needs to be better than anyone else. Everyone is original. Everyone has taken time out of their lives to create their art. And if some people don't appreciate, that's their problem. But there's no reason to criticize or care about anyone else. So when bands hate each other or compete, there's no reason for that. If anything, everyone should my best advice is respect other bands, even if you don't like them, work together, because it's only going to further yourself and them. So just, stay grounded, focused. If you have feelings, do not keep them kept up in you. You have to have communication. Let the other people know that, hey, I don't like what you did. Because if you let that build up inside, like I did all those years, because I didn't know how to, I didn't realize that I was hyper focusing on that. And alcohol was my getaway from my depression, because I didn't know how to open my mouth. Because, again, later on, I was diagnosed with on the spectrum ADHD, but now I know these things. So now I can tell people, it's just stay focused, man. Like, you got to communicate, get your feelings out, because if you keep them pent up, you're just going to explode and go crazy and become addicted to something to numb the pain. So for me, it's communication and staying grounded, because you're no better than anyone else, and you wouldn't be anywhere if it weren't anyone else. So always respect those around you. And I know I sound like a cheesy parent right now, but it's just my own experience.
Yeah.
Growing
Thanks,
up in
Dad.
Whatever.
Yeah. And the last one here. What are you grateful for, and are you currently happy?
Am I currently happy? I'm so happy. I have the best friend in the whole world. Her name is Michelle. She is from PA. She is from a small town called Sharpsville. And makes me very happy.
She's letting us use her phone to finish this interview.
I know. She's not even looking at me. She's like brushing her hair. Anyway, my kids are my life. I love them. I almost feel like it's a blessing. I almost feel like whatever higher power energy that looks over me made me go through that shit just so that I could actually come home and focus on what was more important than music, and that was my children. So I got to spend the last 7 years raising those kids, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for the music scene that I came from. I'm grateful for all my friends who decided to scrounge up some money and rent the VFW hall and start throwing crappy shows that became who we are. So I'm grateful for everything, you know? I'm grateful for you.
I'm grateful for you.
Because we like the same movies. However, your wrestling choices are terrible. I will give you that. And,
so we're actually doing, I don't know if you've seen the last Tornado Tag, but we're doing a political-ish episode where my buddy has his candidate and I have my candidate, and we're going to do a bio of their history of each of their careers. And then the next episode's us debating who's better and who gets more sides. So it'll actually be, he's doing Bret Hart and I'm doing Shawn Michaels.
Disgusting. Yeah, every time Shawn Michaels would come out, I'd be like, what a douche.
But going back to it, I just want to say I'm insanely grateful and happy for you. I'm glad we've made this friendship and we still talk and everything, because I want to be honest, man. A lot of my really close friends, a lot of the people I really care about is because of the local music scene and music in general. And I know it's miscategorized, but those emo nights, man, I made a lot of friends. Like I went to London to go see a wrestling show, went to an emo night there, and with just a bunch of complete strangers in a room, like one of your songs comes on, man. Something you were a part of, the art you made has brought so many people together, including me and a lot of my friends. So I'm thankful for you, and thank you for making beautiful art and music and bringing all of us together.
Hey, just remember, these kids' emo nights were my 80s nights. So I get it. I respect it. I would love to do more of them if anybody asks me. But we have some coming up. It's cool. It's fun. It's like, wow, I'm an old man. I'm considered classic music. My daughter said that to me. What a jerk.
You're on the oldies channel now, right?
I'm considered classic rock, man. That's sad. Anyway, but hey, I hope you be able to piece this up, because if you
we'll fix it all in post, and when we do it again, we'll have it more lined up and nailed down.
We have to have a proper shoot down, like favorite movie, favorite song.
I love it. All right,
I could do that in a heartbeat. So.
All right, I'm down. It's a challenge accepted. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the ABJ podcast. This one meant a lot. Comment below what you thought of it. Let us know. Type in your favorite song from Taking Back Sunday or any of the amazing projects that Eddie was a part of. Make sure you check out his new band. All the links will be below, how you can follow Eddie, all of his music, past, present, and future, and show some love on social media.
We're still working on all that information, but when I have it, the next time we do another show, I'll definitely have all that information. But the new band is called Dead Hands, and we will have music out. We plan on putting a song out like every month. So
love it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, well, that'll do it. Here's some music by the Converse Kid, and we'll see you guys on the next one. We're out of here.